Last December, I shared my top 10 physical releases of 2022. Since that time, I have been able to catch up on many series I was still missing and purchased after the rave reviews we heard from Laura during our video. Since then, some have fallen, some have risen, and we have some entirely new series and have now made the list. So this is my definitive list of my top 10 new manga releases for 2022 that you should check out. Whether you're a fan of action, romance, sports, or suspense, there's something here for everyone. Welcome to the GTP. My name is Scott, where we talk all things manga, and let's go ahead and dive in on my definitive list for 2022. In the comments below, I'd love to hear from you. What were your top manga releases that came out in 2022? And I'm curious just how many of them are similar to my definitive list. First up, I do have two honorable mentions I have to bring up. They did not make the list, but they were on the cusp. And the first is Villains Are Destined to Die from Eyes Press. This is about a girl who all of a sudden wakes up and she's transported into a world, almost like an isekai story. She's now stuck in this game, but everything's in real life. And you follow her, and the twist is when she played the game, she played to the heroine, but now as she's in the new world, she's actually in the body of the villain. And you actually get to see a different perspective of what was going on with the villain, maybe understand the way they were, and now she's trying to figure out, how do I not die? First honorable mention, and my second honorable mention I feel like I need to share is No Longer Heroine. This is also another twist, kind of like Villains Are Destined to Die. This girl, she thinks she's the main character of the story, but she quickly finds out she's actually the side character. And instead, she's trying to figure out, how do I become the main character so I can get this guy? This is a funny story by Yen Press. I've enjoyed the first 2 volumes of it. So these are just some honorable mentions I recommend checking out. So with that, let's go ahead and dive into the top 10. Making number 10 on this definitive list is Tomb Raider King by Eyes Press. This action-packed manga will take you on a thrilling adventure filled with ancient tombs, treasures, and all the excitement you'd expect from a tomb raiding story. One of the reasons why I appreciate Tomb Raider King is that it actually scratches the same itch that I find from Solo Leveling, which is one of my favorite mangas currently available, or it's just to say manhwa. Tomb Raider King follows that same trend where all of a sudden you get little pop-ups of a menu, kind of like you're leveling up from a video game, but now it's brought into real life. And you're following this adventure as he's gone back into the past, but he knows what happens from the future, and now he's trying to change his destiny from a terrible one in the future to a new one with all the new knowledge. And it's just, again, it's a fun read. If you like Solo Leveling, you're going to enjoy Tomb Raider King. Coming in at number 9 is The Elusive Samurai by Viz Media. The historical manga transports you to feudal Japan, where a young samurai embarks on a quest to save his clan and protect his legacy. I will let you know, when I first started reading Elusive Samurai, I actually didn't really care for the manga, but for some reason after the second volume it clicked and I just fell in love with this series. It gave me feelings a bit kind of like reading Demon Slayer, except for you're not hunting demons. It's a fun story as you're just seeing the camaraderie as he gains more members of his group. And then it's fun to see the historical aspects that were inspired for the manga itself. So if you flip at the back of the manga, you'll actually see text that the author used to inspire actual historical events for his story. So there's just a lot of heart, there's a lot of charm, and it's actually engaging. And it's also neat seeing some of the battle tactics and then some of the different fighting that happens between the different clans when they attack each other. Coming in at number 8 is another title by Viz Media, Sakamoto Days. This manga follows the misadventures of a retired legendary assassin who finds himself thrust back into the world of action and danger. It's a hilarious, action-packed ride. As soon as I read the first volume of Sakamoto Days, I knew it was going to make this list. It's just a very funny and hearted story as you're following this ex-assassin who's now overweight. He runs a convenience store, and all for the sake of leaving that past behind of assassin for the sake of a family. And yet the past comes to haunt you with these hilarious hijinks, as well as the action-packed story as you're seeing people come back into his life that, behold, is trying to assassinate him. Some new characters end up joining, and it's just a fun ride. Highly recommend if you haven't read already, Sakamoto Days. Coming in at number 7, surprisingly, another Viz Media title, Mission Yorosaka Family. This manga combines action, comedy, and a touch of romance as a young boy becomes a member of a family of spies. It's a delightful blend of genres that keeps readers hooked from start to finish. One of the reasons why I like this series so much is that it scratches the same itch I find from Spy X Family. So if you like Spy X Family, if you like the action but the comedy aspect as well, you're going to like this series as well. Just a small example where I'm laughing out loud is that he has to take breakfast as part of his training. When he eats a breakfast, it's actually a poison, which causes him to have to go to the bathroom immediately. The problem is also part of the training is that the bathroom is locked with a specific code. So if he doesn't figure out the code in time, he might not make it to the bathroom. That's just a small example. There is this column of a spy looking for another spy column where just the interests and the funniness of this weekly published magazine that they read about the spies that are on in the world. It's just a fun ride you gotta check out. Coming in at number 6 is probably another shocker. It's another Viz Media title, and that is Blue Box. This sports manga centers around the lives of 2 high school students and their love for the game of badminton and basketball. It's a heartwarming story that captures the essence of friendship and determination. What I like about Blue Box, it's just a good slice of life story with some sports in it. It's neat seeing this boy who ends up falling in love with this girl, and then seeing this girl and how well she's just determined with basketball actually inspires him to be a better sports person himself in badminton. And what's really neat with that is that she sees how hard and determined he's working with badminton, which just causes her want to up her game in basketball to be a better competitor herself. As well as there's some other additional characters, so you just can't help but cheer, as well as there's some sprinkled comedy throughout that keeps you laughing as well. If you're looking for a sports that also has that romance-ish as well as a slice of life, it's a great series. I highly recommend picking up. As well as, I have to say, it has some of the best artwork I have seen in a manga panels in a while. Now we're going into the top 5, and coming in at number 5 is none other than by Udon Entertainment, Summertime Rendering. This thrilling manga takes you on a supernatural twist as a young man revisits his hometown and discovers a chilling secret that could change everything. It's a must-read for fans of mystery and suspense. Now, Summertime Rendering, the entire series is actually complete, and Udon Entertainment put the whole series out this past year in these 2-in-1 volumes. It is a thrilling story. It reminds me a little bit of the movie Live, Die, Repeat, which is based off the manga All You Need Is Kill, just in the sense of every time the main character dies, all of a sudden time loops back. And there's a murder mystery going on. There's these mysterious figures that are popping up. You don't know who to trust and who not to trust. And it's just a fun story, and I will say the ending was satisfying. It's oftentimes when you read these type of stories that they start on a high note, but then they go down. I will say the story is definitely not for kids. There's a little bit of itchiness, which I wasn't expecting, but luckily it's not throughout the entire manga. But if you're looking for a supernatural, just crazy adventure of just jaw-dropping of, oh my gosh, what's happening now, good cliffhangers, you gotta pick up the series. It's only a total of 12 volumes, and it's, again, I gotta say, the ending was worth every page I read. Coming in at number 4 is, by Viz Media, Alice in Borderland. This intense and gripping manga follows a group of friends trapped in a twisted, deadly game that challenges their wits and pushes them to their limits. It's a thrilling survival story that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Alice in Borderland reminds me a bit of a battle royale type of story, and there's just this mysteriousness if you're trying to figure out what is going on. How did they wake up in this place called Borderland? How is it that unless they don't make it through the game, they won't survive? What is going on behind the scenes? And it is just a story that just keeps you guessing. The puzzles are entertaining as you're trying to solve the puzzles yourself, as well as you see the main character trying to solve those puzzles, and it keeps you guessing. It is a fun, thrilling series. The first 5 volumes are currently available, and it's one I highly recommend checking out. Coming in at number 3 is a physical release by 7 Seas, Tokyo Revengers. This manga takes you on a time-traveling journey as a young man goes back in time to save his friends from a tragic fate. It's a gripping tale of redemption and second chances that will leave you wanting more. Tokyo Revengers is one of the few manga, as soon as I pick up a volume, I can't put it down until I fully read it. And it's also one of the few manga, when I get a new volume, I want to go ahead and read back the volume beforehand. That way I'm not missing any details. Now, the whole manga is completely done digitally, and I am well aware that people love the series, and then when it came to the ending, all of a sudden they're like, I can't do it. I can't like the series. I am going in this blinded. I have no idea what happens. I don't know if this manga is going to be like Lost, where I just love the show, but after the ending, I don't want to touch it anymore. I hope that's not the case. I think part of it is just thinking about the journey itself. And I love the journey of Lost until the ending. So my hope is that I'm going to continue loving the journey of Tokyo Revengers, and it won't be like Lost, where it just leaves such a bad taste in my mouth, the ending, that I want to drop it. But my hope is, because the journey is so good so far, it's one you should check out yourself if you have not already. Narrowly missing the top spot, we're now at my number 2 by Kodansha, which is Blue Lock. This manga delves into the world of soccer, following a group of talented players who are pushed to their limits in a specialized training program. It's a thrilling story that showcases their determination and passion for soccer. This manga, similar to Alice in Borderland, feels like this battle royale type of story, except for people aren't being lopped off and killed like in Alice in Borderland. Blue Lock is such a thrilling story. Like Tokyo Revengers, I can't put the volume down once I pick it up, and I'm just glued in. Personally, I'm not really into soccer, nor do I care really about the sport, but Blue Lock caused me to want to know more about the sport itself, and it gave me actually an appreciation for it. So there's something to be said about a manga that gives you an appreciation for a sport that wasn't really interested you to begin with. The art panel is incredible and throughout the story, and I'm at the edge of my seat, following panel after panel, seeing what's going to happen, who's going to be eliminated, who's going to continue to stay, and you can't help but just cheer on the main character and the teammates he slowly joins throughout it. It is such a fun series that I just can't say enough things about. Unfortunately, it's not really for kids, as there's just some language in there. If they didn't have the language, I would recommend any teenager to pick it up. It is a great sports and thrilling series. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for. With a drum roll, please. My number 1 new manga for 2022. I have a new number 1 from Yen Press, and that is Why Raylina Ended Up at the Duke's Mansion. This captivating manga takes you into an intriguing world where a commoner finds herself entangled in a web of secrets, romance, and political intrigue. It's a masterfully crafted story that will keep you hooked from the first page to the last. I'm actually as shocked as probably you are that this made my #1, but it is a phenomenal story as you're following this girl who somehow mysteriously she fell off to her death but woke up in one of her favorite novels alive. So it reminds me a little bit kind of like an isekai story. She has read the novel and she ends up waking up as one of the characters that she knows ends up dying in the novel. Well, not so now. She is determined to make it so she's not going to die as a side character. But you know what? Does that change the story? Does her fate make all these other things start to unravel? What has she gotten herself into? And I also appreciate the pages are in full color, and it's just a fun series. I can't recommend enough. I'm not a big romance person, but for some reason I want to know what is going to happen with Rylena. It's a story that you've got to check out. It's one that has surprised me. The first 3 volumes are currently available. 4th one is until I believe late June, but it has made my #1. I am head over heels on this series. I love this series. It is one of my favorite current ongoing manga, and it's one you've got to check out yourself. So that's my definitive top 10 list of physical manga releases for 2022. So do yourself a favor, grab a copy of any of these titles, go ahead and immerse yourself in some incredible stories and let your imagination soar. And if you'd like to see more content like this and not done so already, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That helps others know about this community that we are building together. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.